What is up, my survivors, fellow thrivers? Okay, hey, what's up, my fellow subscriber thrivers? It is me, authentically Regina B, and I am finally back filming another video. I want to shout out to my homie, my girl, my day one, my subscriber, CD. Thank you for rocking with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, but let's get into it. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm just gonna flow, and however it flow, it flow. But just to give you an update, 3 of my children started school. They are in school learning. I have a kindergartner, a 3rd grader, and a junior in high school. And then I have my baby girl. She's here with me. She's not in school yet, so just getting into the swing of things. We are in week 3 of school, I believe. So let's see, what is today? September 21st, Tuesday, September 21st. So I believe we're coming into week 3 of school being in session. We have our routine set up. We have our little routine set up here at home. I have some space, I have some grace. So I'm definitely gonna film this. Don't know when I'm gonna be, editing it and uploading it. But I just wanted to give you guys an update on that. School has started off to a great start. My kindergartner, she absolutely loves school. So I'm really, really happy about that. I keep fiddling my ears because I got my earbuds in for the speakers. So in case you're wondering. But yeah, we're going to get into it. I left off with days 20 through 24. I have completed my workbook. Yay! I completed it, and so I'm just gonna be trying to go briefly through days 24 to 30 as quickly as I can. I'm not gonna rush, but I'm not gonna make it like super long. But yeah, I finished it, and I finished it strong. I really finished it strong. I finished it feeling more confident. I finished it feeling more authentically myself. I finished it showing myself more grace and more kindness. I finished realizing that I am a forgiving person. Like when I think about it, I know that I've forgiven because the hurt that was once there was not there. And the rehashing that I used to do and the retelling of the story that I used to do, it just is not there. So I'm really happy about that. So let's get into it. And for those of you, if this is your first time watching this video, this is the workbook that I am referring to. It's not you, it's them. 30 Days of Hope and Help for the Adult Child of a Narcissistic Parent. And this is the beautiful author. And so, yeah, this book has been through some wear and tear. So let me get to day 24. Here we go. So that was the last day I did. So we're starting with day 25, actually. And so day 25 is talking back to flying monkeys. And for those of you that maybe don't know, or if this is your first time watching a video, a flying monkey is those people around you. It could be family members or it could be friends that are kind of involved in the situation between you and your narcissistic parent. Sometimes it's the golden child sibling that's telling you like, oh, you should just get along, or that's how mom is, or, it's not right for you to not call or something like that. So that's my way of interpreting flying monkeys. So the quote that she gives, it says, "But what do I say, Debbie, when my aunt tells me that my father was abused as a child, so I should just overlook how he treats me today?" And that is a quote from a client. My client asked earnestly, a client of hers. So, basically flying monkeys are often codependents, people who feel the urge to correct others' lives rather than focusing on their own. They won't be happy until all the ducks are lined up in the row they think is best. So lastly, she says, There are 3 steps to deal with these ill-disguised guilt trips. The first is to say, I don't want to talk about this, and change the subject. If they persist, the next is to turn the questioning back on them like this. Aunt Margaret, I've told you that I don't wish to discuss it, and yet you continue to do so. I wonder why you aren't respecting my wishes. If this continues, I will need to remove myself from your company, hang up the phone, and I really don't want to do that, and change the subject. The third step, if necessary, is to follow up on your warning and remove yourself from their company. Actions always speak louder than words. You can do it. You deserve to do it. For real, you can do it. And I think all 3 of those steps are really, really great steps for the ill-disguised guilt trip, as she says. Just being super direct. And I feel like when you're a child of a narcissistic parent, as you grow and as you work on yourself, as you heal and as you change, people will challenge that. Because I know for me, I had a very hard time being direct because I didn't want to be mean. And so it's not being mean to be direct, and how someone interprets what your request is or what you have to say or however that makes them feel, that's their feelings to own. That's not my responsibility. I'm not trying to make you feel anything. I am trying to be direct about what I will allow in my space and in my face. So, you know, just being direct, I don't want to talk about it. Let's change the subject. The weather's so nice, you know, I don't know. A pack of chicken wings is $19. Can you believe it? So yeah, if they persist, I love that. I've never done that, but I will try the next step, which is asking them, Aunt Margaret, I've told you I don't want to discuss this, and yet you continue to do so. I wonder why you aren't respecting my wishes. You know, kind of like, what's going on here? Like, and if this continues, I will need to remove myself from your company, and then following up with it. The way that I used to look at it is, if I'm telling you something is upsetting me, hurting me, offending me, or making me uncomfortable, and you persist to do it, at that point, how I interpret that behavior is that you're intentionally trying to do something to me that I've told you I do not like. And so that gives me the confidence to back away and say, you know what, this person is not safe. So it says the affirmation, I have the right to speak up to those who pressure me and remove myself from their company if they continue to choose to violate my requests. Yes, I control me. I control what I say, how I feel, how I act. I control what I will accept. I control how I will treat people. I don't have to engage or put myself in emotionally unsafe situations or around people or around unsafe people. And that is what that affirmation means to me. I control my environment. I control my life. You know, I control the things that I want to discuss and the things that I don't want to discuss. And we all have the free will to do that. God wouldn't have given us free will if he wanted other people to control us. So that just came to my mind. Journal to heal, picturing the successful conversation. Drawing can be a great way to express our emotions and resolutions. Today, draw a picture of your flying monkey. You can depict them as an actual Wizard of Oz flying monkey or draw them as they actually look. Being able to draw skillfully is not important to this exercise. Then draw you next to them, make them small and make you tall. Use cartoon balloons to write the text where you answer them calmly and confidently. So yeah, I did that. I mean, I'm not a great drawer. And if someone brings up a subject that I don't want to talk about or ask about a situation that I don't want to talk about, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to discuss it, and just move forward. And a lot of times, most people that I interact with do not do that. So the specific people that I do that to, that I know is trying to, maybe get a rise out of me, I don't want to talk about it. And we just leave it at that. And I have very, very limited time that I spend around such individuals. Okay, so 26, the holidays. Whew, it's a good one. I'll be home for Christmas and in therapy by New Year's. That's the quote, and it's unknown. The Hallmark holidays, where we're all supposed to have these functional families where we all regress to our childhood personas with each other, pleasers, aggressors, narcissists, scapegoat, golden child, and enablers. Life is full of supposed tos and social pressures, but I can tell you that January is my busiest season for a reason. Wow, Debbie. Consider this official permission to forego the family gatherings if people are rude, critical, or abusive to you, no matter what society says. You matter too, and if a more meaningful holiday is to be with just the people who love and support you, then I encourage you to do just that, and I do just that. Life is short. Don't waste it in the company of toxic people. Create your own family out of those who love and respect you, not guilt trip and pressure you. What more could I add to that? Nothing. Yeah, change those supposed tos. So it says, and another thing with that part of grieving that I just want to put in there, I struggled with my husband and my middle daughter's birthdays because they're both around my narcissistic parents' birthday. And obviously with Christmas and with Mother's Day. And I realized from, talking to a really awesome friend of mine that those days are to be celebrated and those days are to be happy. And it's not about what I don't have, but what I do have. And so I make it a conscious decision to enjoy myself on those days. My husband did such an awesome thing, and I feel like he did it intentionally, but he doesn't really like to get like a whole bunch of, I guess, clout or whatever. So for this month, well, in the summertime, in June, when their birthdays were, my husband's is June 15th and June 13th, and my daughter's is June 15th. He booked a trip to Galveston, Texas. It was just the most great time there. We had such a great time celebrating his and her birthday there. And it just took me out of, where I am currently, which is Kansas City. And it was a great experience. And it really helped me to just focus on them. And I did like this awesome beach run on my narcissist parents' birthday, and I just ran all that out, and it was great. It was really, really great. So, but yeah, I had to take that back and say, I'm not going to focus on who's not in my life. I'm going to focus on who is in my life and who loves me and who I love as well. And I'm going to celebrate them and actively, is that the word I'm looking for? Be present and very mindful of the fact that, no, I am going to enjoy today. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice. Anyway, so the affirmation, I have the right to enjoy my holidays and choose the family to spend it with that supports and loves me. And what this means to me, I have the right to make my own traditions with my own family. I'm not society normal. I'm me, and my family is loving, caring, and a blessing. Yes. I'm not society normal. I'm not, and I realize that, and that's okay. So journal to heal my perfect holidays. Fill in the blanks below for your dream holiday experience. Don't hold anything back. The location, my house, or a destination, like going out of town. The people I'd be with would be my husband, children, sisters, my dad. We're at a good place. My husband's aunt, my friend Sierra, and family. The fun things we would do would be eat, laugh, talk, maybe play games. Write about ways you could make all or part of this come true. Be creative. Decorate, cook with friends, music. I would keep it very, very simple. Maybe somebody, we have like a potluck type of thing. Bring, games to play and all that type of stuff. She has some suggestions. Celebrate on a different day. Never thought about doing that, but and go to a restaurant, which we've done that. So next we have day 27, and it says appropriate and inappropriate guilt. Pack your bags, we're going on a guilt trip. Unknown is the quote for that. And it says scapegoats often have a hard time distinguishing between appropriate and inappropriate guilt since they've been blamed for all unhappiness in the family their whole lives. Here's a clear distinction. And I want you to listen because I know this is something that a lot of us struggle with. When you yell at someone, you are guilty and need to apologize for the tone you used. When you call names, you are guilty and need to apologize for the words used. When you set a boundary in a firm, quiet tone of voice and simple words, and the narcissist, enabler, or flying monkey gets angry, you are not guilty. They choose their responses. You behaved appropriately, and you did, and you did. You did. Discerning the difference between the appropriateness of your behavior and someone else's chosen response, she has that in all caps, response, is the hardest thing for a scapegoat. But once you learn it, your confidence grows. Finally, you can be at peace with the protective boundaries you have set. In psychology, we call that developing your inner locus of control versus being controlled from the outside by others' whims and opinions. Yeah. So I know that I struggle a lot with feeling guilty. It even floats over or transfers over into my parenting. Sometimes my relationship with my husband, I'll overly apologize about something and he's like, you're good. Like, it's fine. Like, you don't even need to apologize for that. And here I am like, oh, you know. And so, yeah, that is definitely something that I struggle with. And I realized that that's a part of a belief system that was set up when I was a child, always being blamed and always feeling like I caused, my son's here, always feeling like, oh, I must have made her mad. I must have made her sad or angry or this or that. And just taking on guilt that was not mine to have. So that is definitely a great, great resource if that's something that you struggle with. When you set a boundary and you're not cussing folks out and you're not, you know, using, like she said, you're not yelling at someone, you're not calling them bad names. You're just simply saying, this is what I will not accept in my life any longer. And if that person gets angry or cries even, or, you know, starts yelling at you, that is not your fault. They need to own their behavior just like you overly look at your behavior. You know, we're sitting up here feeling bad and they're not feeling anything for their behavior. So yes, that is definitely something to learn. And so it says, the affirmation, my behavior determines my guilt or innocence, not the opinions of others. What this means to me, man's approval is a snare. That is a proverb scripture that follows me whenever I become overly concerned about others' opinions of me. It's a trap, and once I'm stuck, it takes some time to pry the trap off. So I've learned people are not who define me. I define me. I know why. I know my heart and mind. I'll let the Lord determine my guilt or innocence and pray for grace and mercy. That's all I can do. You know, I know my heart. I know my intentions. I know that God knows my heart and my intentions. And so if someone is trying to make me feel guilty about something that I've chosen that is a healthy thing for me, you don't have the right to do that. And man's approval is a snare. When it's like I get caught in a fog when I try to overly please people, or, you know, overly prove my innocence or something like that. And it's a battle that you won't win. You know, for me, it's a battle that I haven't won. But when I just get into that area of knowing that, hey, I'm covered by grace, I am loved, and I am a loving person, my intention is never to hurt anyone, but I'm not going to allow you to hurt me. And if you feel like that is bad, then you need to do some reflecting, you know, like I'm doing, to work on some stuff. Okay, so the journal to heal, speaking up without guilt. Write an appropriate boundary setting letter to your narcissist or others who pressure you below, outlining in detail what you will or will not tolerate. For example, I will not tolerate being criticized. Next, respond with what action you will take if it happens. And if you criticize me, I will leave the room, hang up the phone, get out of the car, not spend holidays together. And so I just wrote, to whom it may concern. I will not allow you to manipulate me. I will not shrink myself for your comfort. I will not say yes to any and everything. I will not allow you to use my children as pawns in a game. I will not allow your opinions to define me. I will not allow you to blame me for your behavior if these sound like things you are incapable of doing. We cannot and will not be close. If you continue, I will ask you to leave, hang up, or stop responding to texts or emails. From Regina Gina Williams. Okay, so day 28 was, it's not fair. So the quote is by Debbie Tudor, and it says, we can waste our lives trying to right the wrongs of our childhood. This is day 28. If I didn't say that already. So the quote, we can waste our lives trying to right the wrongs of our childhoods by policing others. This is true. This is true. Being overly controlling just because, you know, of what happened to us. And for me, I really always wanted to make sure that that never happened to me again. So for me, policing others is just trying to control everything. And I'm a Capricorn, so, you know, double whammy. But being unfairly blamed for the golden child's problems or just generally being made the scapegoat often causes a highly developed sense of right and wrong, true, in the scapegoated child that carries into adulthood. Being treated unfairly and then being told that life's not fair, just get over it, strikes a chord deep inside of us. This is true. And we can spend years fighting with and policing those around us in a futile effort to get justice. I see this in my patients who obsess over their attempts to fix, explain, or change relationships with the narcissist or others in their lives. Let me be clear, you are not wrong to have expected as a child to be treated fairly by your parents and to be frustrated even today by unfair treatment from others. But the goal of recovery is to accept that some people will never treat you fairly and to move away from contact with those people rather than trying to change them. Otherwise, it's beating your head against a brick wall, something that only hurts you. You can't change people. You just can't. You just can't. It's not something that we were called to do. It's not anything that we're even capable of doing. I've learned this. So the affirmation is, I let go of policing or expecting fairness from the narcissist. What this means to me. I let go of trying to control others' actions and their thoughts about me. I can't control, you know, I feel like sometimes us as scapegoats, well, for me, I overly think about what someone thinks about me. You know, if I did something, you know, if I said something, or it's a very tiring thing to do. And so it's like, I can't control how a person sees me. I can only control how I see myself. And unfortunately, yeah, some things are not fair and it does hurt. And I realize that when you're raised to be like, oh, life's not fair, just get over it. I've had to teach myself, even here recently, I've just learned this here recently. Hey, I'm hurt. That hurt me. I'm feeling hurt. What are you feeling right now? I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling frustrated. And it's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to not just get over it, but to acknowledge your own feelings about it. You don't have to go to the other person, but you can just, whether it be through prayer or journaling. For me, what works is prayer. And so now what I try to do is like, Lord, that really hurt. Like, my feelings are hurt. I'm upset or I'm angry, and just kind of, because he knows anyway, and kind of venting my frustration to a friend that's, you know, that is never going to leave me, who wants to know my concerns, you know? Cast your cares upon the Lord because he cares for you. So, and he loves you. So that's what I do. And it really, really helps. Instead of just, you know, pretending like I'm not hurt, like, oh, just get over it. It doesn't matter. No, it matters. That hurt, and I'm hurt, but Lord, help me get over that. You know, get out of here, Nat. So then the journal, get out of here. The journal to heal, it's not fair. Describe a childhood memory or two where your rights or needs were brushed aside to accommodate the narcissist or the golden child. What this means to me. So there were times my needs or rights were brushed aside. I can't change those experiences. In fact, they shaped a part of me that's not bad. Now my needs and rights will not be brushed aside to accommodate others, and I want to focus on me, not brushing the needs or rights of the people I love and others around me. So that's where I'm at with that. There were many times, like, look at this, I could 2 or 3 times, I would need way, even just to describe one time, I would need way more than this. So there's been many times that my needs or my rights were denied. And it did shape me into the person that I am today. And I will not, and I do not brush aside the rights and needs of other people. That's just something that I'm not gonna do. I am a caring person. That's why we need some checks and balances. We need to make sure that, you know, what determines our guilt or innocence, like we were just talking about, is in balance. Because if it's out of whack and if it's overly this, you know, that's when we start to beat ourselves up. But, you know, a part of me, yeah, a lot of the things that I went through shape who I am now. And I wouldn't just brush aside someone else's needs or the rights to feel however they feel. So that's why I was like, I don't feel like writing that down. Because now rewrite the scenario above, but step into it as a protector adult and write how you would handle it to see that justice is done for the scapegoat. Take up for yourself as an adult protecting an innocent child, then comfort that child. So I wrote, I'm sorry that your need was not met and that your right to feel or express how that made you feel was denied. In the future, I will be more present and available to your needs. I hope you can and will forgive me and give me the chance in the future to make things right. I love you. You matter to me. You matter to me. Day 29. We're at 27 minutes, guys. Okay, so, or CD. Thank you so much. Even that small support is so big to me. It means so much to me. And I just want to say directly to you, as I have been like, oh, I need to film a video. I've thought about you. I hope that you're well. And thank you so much for your support. It really has blessed me. It has meant a lot to me. So thank you. Okay, so day 29, never enough love. I just want someone to take care of me. Therapy patient and female CEO of a large corporation. Interesting. A common symptom suffered by the scapegoat is a clinging, neediness, a feeling of insecurity that plagues all of her adult relationships. This can cause a quick and often unwise commitment to a partner who ends up being narcissistic or abusive themselves. Ooh, thank Jesus. Not me. The scapegoat goes impulsively from relationship to relationship, desperately seeking someone to fill the parent-shaped void inside of her. Her tendency to choose someone on her own poor level of emotional health, plus the Cinderella-like need to be saved by a handsome prince, is a recipe for relationship disaster. The relationship moves too fast, a sexual bond is formed too early, and they don't see the person for who they really are. The answer here is to be alone until you can be happy that way. Paradoxically, it is when we are at our healthiest, nurturing and loving selves, rather than waiting to be rescued, that we attract a healthy mate in return. The answer is not a partner, it's in ourselves. So I agree with all of that. Me and my husband met at a very young age. I was 17 turning 18 and he was 19. We got married at the age of 21. No, he's very giving, very selfless. He's very emotionally stable. So no, I mean, we all have a little tendency to be narcissistic, especially when you have those arguments and you're just like, well, you did this, well, you did this. But, you know, if I'm really like, seriously, that hurt my feelings, or I didn't like when you did that, he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, Gina. You know, so yeah. The affirmation, I have all I need within myself for happiness. I can reparent myself to wholeness without a mate. What this means to me. Within me is happiness, kindness, acceptance, and love. I will be whole. I am whole. Yeah, that's what that means to me. It's taken some time to get there. It really has. But as I'm growing, there's this psalm that I love. I believe David wrote it, but it said, Lord, keep me effective in my old age. And what that meant to me was, I don't want to ever get to a point where I think I've learned everything I need to learn in life. You know, I'm 38, I'll be 39. I don't care if the Lord allows me to see 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I always want to be that type of person that's willing to learn, that's willing to acknowledge a behavior that needs to change. You know, so, and I definitely feel like that's true, especially when you have kids, because on every level, there's always something for me to learn as a parent. Parenting a toddler, parenting an elementary school age kid, parenting a teenager. All of those levels are different. And then we're in the age of technology. We're, you know, in 2021. So if I got to a point where I never wanted to hear what my kids are saying, or if there's something that I need to work on to better help them grow, I don't want to be that type of person. And me and my friends said all the time, I love being wrong. Like, if I'm wrong about something, I'll admit it, and then it's time for me to resolve it and learn something different. Son creeping around. Let me hurry up. Okay, journal to heal, reparenting myself. Make a list below of things that you enjoy that are nourishing to your body and spirit. Act as your own mother or father and lovingly give yourself one of these experiences as often as possible, at least weekly. If this is hard for you, think of childhood pleasures. Did you enjoy going outdoors? Maybe you can go camping. Did you enjoy running races? Perhaps a jog in a park would feel good. Did you like to draw and color? There are adult coloring books in every store. Love team sports. There are adult leagues everywhere. The point is to keep going on this list until you have paid attention to your desires. Be your own loving parent. So I enjoy being outside, running, coloring, singing, dancing, pretending. I may not have the time to do all these things now, but I always make time to run, read, and sing. This is true. I do run. I have a 4-day running cycle, so I run 4 days and I rest 1. And sometimes, depending on what I'm going through within that week or within that month, I may run more. I may do an extra day or an extra couple of days. But, you know, I got back into running about 3 years ago. And that's when I got gaslighted and ghosted. And so that was just something that I stepped out on faith on. It was something that I enjoyed doing as a kid. I was on cross country in middle school. I ran track in high school. I remember running around as a kid, you know, playing tag. And so I really do enjoy running, and it really does, it does help with depression and anxiety. And so that's something that I make time for. You know, I have this thing that I say to myself, it's not if I'm gonna run today, it's when I'm gonna run. And I'm always thankful to God that that was reintroduced to me 3 years ago to kind of help fill that gap that was there from being ghosted. And since then, I just love it. I love it. I've seen growth within myself. I've seen growth within my run. So that's something I do daily. Or like I said, 4 days on, 1 day rest. And on that rest day, if I don't do anything, I just sat down, as me and my friend like to say. But because, you know, these bones is 38, But, you know, I might do some weightlifting or some yoga. I enjoy yoga a lot. And then I read. I have a Bible app. I have daily Bible plans that I do. I challenge myself to read different books of the Bible. Right now I'm reading in Acts. Yeah, so I try to read, and then singing, you know, I listen to music. So I enjoy music. I listen to music probably almost every day. So I do sing, and, you know, it does help me feel better. So it was funny because on Sesame Street, they were talking about the blue, was it Sesame Street? No, it was Pinkalicious on KCPT Kids, and they were talking about the blues. And so, you know, Peter Riffick went around, and at first he was singing the blues because his dad had told him, you know, singing the blues is, you know, it helps you when you're sad. And so he was going around doing that, and it was making other people sad. So then a blues singer comes in on the little cartoon, and it's like, well, no, the blues is just singing about how you feel, whether you feel happy or sad. And so that whole day I was practicing that, like, Lord, I'm frustrated. These kids getting on my nerves. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right. I haven't done it since, but it was fun that day. Day 30. Yes. Okay, day 30. Never a failure, always a lesson. Failure is success in progress. And Albert Einstein said that. Dear ones, you've reached the last stage of your journey through 30 days of healing, but this can be only the beginning of the new life you can have if you give yourself the freedom to do so. Let me address the most common lament of my clients. Debbie, I did it again. I got caught off guard and decided to just call and check in. Give him another chance. Give him or her another chance. Aunt Sue pressured me so much, I thought, well, maybe that's what a good son does, so I called. And it was a huge mistake. He started off nice, then started telling me how I failed him by not calling enough. Readers, please note that the irony of being told you don't call enough while you're in the midst of a call that you initiated. This happens all the time. After all, the effort I've made to distance and protect myself and not follow him on Facebook and block his number, I walked right back in. I failed. Please understand this is not a failure. Instead, it's an important step in learning the process. As you try and test out boundaries that are unique and specific to you and your situation, you will have to make many stumbles along the way, and it is okay. Yes. This is so true. We're at 36 minutes. That is so true. Along with running, I have met a new friend that I enjoy running with. Her name is Sierra. And I almost did this. But thanks be to God that I have her as my friend. And I was just sharing with her. And what had happened, so my narcissistic parent, mother, called me. I missed the call. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, my heart fluttered a little bit, but I said, you know, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna finish enjoying my food because I was eating. And I said, and you know, I told the Lord that I would be open to whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and call back. So I called back, straight to voicemail. Mind you, in the past, I've had a Samsung. Recently, I have an iPhone. So I was like, okay, that's weird. I had a nail appointment. And I'm like, okay, well, as I'm driving to my nail appointment, I'll call again. That way, I won't have to be on the phone long. I can just talk for that amount of time and then say, hey, I'm at the nail shop, gotta go. Just in case it's an emergency, or, you know, there's always that hope, like we discussed in this book, there's always that hope of change. So called again, straight to voicemail. I'm like, okay, I hope everything is okay. Because that's, you know, how I'm like, I hope everything is okay. Like, I hope she ain't sick or, you know. So then I go for a run later with my friend and I tell her. And so she was like, and I said, well, I kind of feel like she called me and then she, you know how on your iPhone you can block people? Because when you block people, I guess it goes like to voicemail. And I was sharing this with my friend and I said, but, you know, she would have no way of knowing that I now have an iPhone and that, you know, I'm aware that there's this feature that you can do that. In the past, I didn't know. And so I'm just telling my friend, you know, what my instincts are telling me and different things like that. And I'm like, I really kind of feel like that was intentional. And so my friend was like, oh, it absolutely was. And she said, she was like, so what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm not gonna call again. And she was like, I'm so glad you said that, because you shouldn't. She said, because your mother probably had a plan for what she would say if you answered, and a plan for what she would do if you didn't. So either way it went, you know. And to just think about that, it's like, yeah, that's so spot on. And so I just kind of let it go. And that was me almost going back into it. You know, I prayed about it, and I said, I'm not going to make any more attempts. I think it's just for the best to leave that where it's at. If it was something that was important, I'm sure she or someone else would have called. But it was, you know, the game. It was the game. It was like, hey, I know you didn't forget about me. What's up, babe? Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so the affirmation is, I am loving and patient with myself as I learn new ways of relating to my narcissist. What this means to me: I will love myself and be patient with me. I'm on a journey and everything will work together for my good. Yes, it will. I mean, I'll be patient. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna close myself off, because I never like saying, oh, nobody will ever change. I grew up hearing that. Oh, he'll never change. Your dad will never change. My dad he actually has changed. And I never liked hearing that, because for me, the reason for me, I don't like to say that or, you know, make that a core belief, is because I do believe that God has the power to change any individual who is willing. And you never know if someone one day will become willing to be changed. So that's why I try not to say, oh, such and such will never change. And that's why I try to stay open to whatever God has for me. I know that, like I said, all things are working together for my good. Jeremiah 29:11, the Lord knows the plans he has for me, not to harm me, but to give me a future. So anything that comes to me is not for my harm, but for my betterment. So that's why I say that. Let's see, journal to heal. Go back through this book now and take note below of the things that resonated most with you: assignments, quotes, phrases, stories, or points made. I didn't write down anything, but definitely the guilt or innocence stood out to me. The desire of the grief. I remember when we talked about how you have to grieve over the fact that that parent is not going to give you the things that you need. You know, not gonna tell you that you matter or apologize or, you know, for things like that. Oh, one thing that stood out was the #1 question for all narcissistic, well, children of narcissistic parents is, am I a narcissist? And I was so glad that I discovered that that's like a normal question that those of us that are in this tribe ask ourselves or fear when we're thinking about having children. And it's like, I love how she pointed out, and she said, if you're asking yourself, you are not, because a narcissist will not ask themselves if they are something, if they are a narcissist. So I really, really enjoyed that. Owning my own feelings, being direct with people, setting boundaries, not listening to the flying monkeys. The terminology that I learned was just really, really awesome. The scapegoated child, the golden child, flying monkeys, you know, the codependent parent, and realizing that even though my father was not involved in my childhood, he was a codependent parent because he just, you know, abandoned me to just my mother's rule. So that kind of left me, you know, so yeah, those are all the things that really stood out to me. Some of my favorite assignments were writing to the younger me, parenting the younger me, which we just did that. I really enjoyed that. Let's see, what else did I like? Oh, asking for protection. And it says, put the name of people that you know can help you. You know, I need help with not responding, not reading emails. Yeah, so this has been a really cool thing. So it says, finally, now make a list of 10 things you plan to do differently relating to the narcissistic parent, enabler, or flying monkeys going forward. I will not chase. I will remember I have forgiven them, because sometimes when that hurt comes up, it can start to, if I don't remind myself that I've forgiven them, it might turn into anger or resentment. And I have too much to be grateful for than to sit around being angry about something that happened 20, 30 years ago to me. I feel like that would be a characteristic of being a narcissist. Like, this happened to me. No, I mean, I've forgiven it. You know, I'm at a good spacious place. So I will be honest. I will not rehash. I'm not rehashing the past. I will not argue or plead my case. I will not shrink myself. I will not be afraid. I will protect myself. I will not accept the blame of others, and I will love and honor myself. That's what I'm going to go do going forward. Those are the things that I'm going to do. And, you know, this book, along with other things that I have been doing, you know, running, meditating, reading my word, listening to music, you know, hanging out with a new friend that feels like I've known her for years. All of these things is helping me gain or rebuild my confidence. It's helping me to be more present in my current present situation. It's helped me to move forward from the past. It's helped me to find my voice, you know, to find my voice and say what I like and what I don't like. And I don't have to say it in any kind of way. I can say it in a very kind way, in a fun way, but I mean what I say. And if I don't like something, I don't have to put up with it. If I'm in a situation where I'm uncomfortable, I don't have to stay, I can leave. I don't have to explain myself to people. I really don't. And neither do you. So this has been an awesome journey. I'm so glad that I did this. You know, I probably will revisit just some of the pages and look back at some of the things I've said. I actually want to share this with my, with a relative. I'm not going to say, but I want to share this with a relative that's experiencing narcissistic abuse right now. But I really enjoyed it, and it really has helped me. It has helped me. So I would definitely suggest this workbook. And it reminded me, like, do you remember back in elementary, back in the day, when we had workbooks we used to have to work through? I used to like those workbooks. And so it reminded me that I actually like workbooks. So yes, this has been an amazing journey. Thank you so much for coming along this journey with me. It means so much to me. I hope that some of the things that I've said has helped you at least say, I'm not the only one. Because I know sometimes I find myself like, am I the only one? But, you know, being able to say you're not the only one. You are not the only one. And, oh, I picked the wrong book. So I want to maybe do another workbook. And I have a book. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I want to maybe do another workbook. Oh, my legs, stretch them out. I want to do another workbook because I really enjoyed this process. And now that the kids are in school and I have more free time, like this is 48 minutes. I have more free time. I want to try to do another workbook. So when we went to Galveston, we flew into Houston. And as I was leaving, I found this book. And it says, God Hears Her, 40-Day Devotional Journal from Our Daily Bread. And I've already done 5 days worth of work in it. And I enjoy it. Like, it tells you, it gives you a scripture. Wait. So it gives you a scripture. And then it gives you a little story from someone or testimony type of thing. And then it has you pray, connect, and take inventory. You can see that. So I thought about doing this one, but I'm also going to do some research for some other books because I know not everybody is into this, and I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna pray on it. I'm gonna look Debbie and see if she has any more things, any more resources like this, and if there's any other resources out there. And yeah, I want to do that. I'm definitely a trauma survivor, so I'll just be honest. I am a survivor of child sexual assault. So I might find a book on that, because I really have. I've read a lot of books on it, but haven't done any workbooks on it. And I've definitely healed from that. So that's why I'm just, you know, not afraid to share that or say anything about that, because that was kind of like one of the first things I did after I had my son, because I was just so nervous about having people around him, changing his diaper in front of people and all that kind of stuff, because everybody was a pervert to me. And so I was like, hold on, Lord, something ain't right. And so, you know, back about 16, 17 years ago, I read a lot of books on that. That really helped me to heal and recover from that, and own and accept that as a part of my past. So if that's something that you're into, I can look into that as well. But, you know, thank you so much for rocking with me. I'm gonna get out of here. Maybe I'll have like a good 10, 15 minutes, because my baby usually wakes up. She usually takes a nap for about an hour, unless she's really tired. So I'm gonna do that. I hope that this has helped you. Thank you again for rocking with me. Thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for supporting this channel. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope that as I can invest more time in this, that we will grow. And my day one CD, I hope that you will be able to see, you know, the channel grow, and we'll be able to look back on this and be like, remember when it was just you and me, and all of that good stuff. So definitely share the channel if you know of or can think of anyone that, you know, my content may help, or someone who may enjoy my content. And, you know, any suggestions, any tips, tricks, anything like that you have, I am so willing and accepting to receive that information. So thank you so much. I hope that you're well. I pray that you're well. And if nobody tells you today or any other day, I want you to know you matter and I love you.